Okay, we got our chicken for today for our basics practical. We're going to go ahead and trim off any extra fat here along the bottom. What we'll do next is look for the wishbone. The wishbone is located towards the neck area. First thing I like to do is check for any extra skin along the neck, which will help me find the wishbone a little better. I'm going to take my finger and run it along the inside here, and I can feel the bone ridges where I need to look. Okay, I'll make a small incision right along the breast here, and I'll keep feeling for that wishbone, and I'll rest the knife right on that wishbone. You can see how the knife is flexing. Go ahead and just run it right down there close to the wishbone. Same on the other side. I'll feel for it, get the knife right on that there, and go all the way down to the end. Okay, to release the wishbone, I'm going to make a small cross cut this way on the top to release it. There's a soft piece of cartilage there. I'm going to give it a little cut, and that'll release it. Right, and I can basically just use force to pull it out. So that's the whole wishbone intact. Alright, we made an incision at the top, and we just followed it all the way down the side to remove it. The reason we have you do that is to ensure that you get as much breast meat as possible as you can. If you leave it on at home, you'll notice you'll have lots of breast meat hanging out around the wishbone, which you don't want. So from here, I'm going to loosen the legs first. Okay, just cut it at the flaps. I don't like to pop the joints because it stretches the breast skin too much, and then you have little pieces of skin instead of a whole coverage. Alright, so now the legs are facing me and the wings are facing up. You can tuck them if you want to have them out of the way as well. And now I'm going to finish this cut along the top. Make an incision there, right along the breastbone. And I'm going to go right and left to remove the breast. First cut on the chicken breast is always a straight 90-degree cut all the way down. If you start going like this on an angle, you'll lose a lot of meat, and you'll possibly even lose the tender. So I just went straight down to keep it nice and clean, and now I'm peeling back with my left hand, since I'm right-handed, and I'm just following the bones as they show to me. Alright. And I'm also looking for this shoulder bone, which is right here. It's still kind of hard to see, but you can see the breast to the joint, which connects to the shoulder, which is right here. That's where we're going to follow to get our airline breast intact. Right. I'm going to try to disconnect as much as I can before I attack that joint, so I don't lose it. Okay, I'm grabbing the wing now, and if you can see right here, the shoulder bone goes down, and then the joint is right in this area here where you can see some air moving around in there. Okay, I'm going to take my boning knife, just make a cut right where that joint was, and that'll disconnect the breast. Okay. Same for the other side. Since I'm right-handed, I have to flip it over, so it makes it easier for me. So 90-degree cut down, then I start following the bone and peeling with my left hand. Okay. Again, follow the shoulder bone down. Alright. I'm going to disconnect as much of the breast as possible before I cut the joint. Excuse me. Alright, so there's the shoulder bone right here. I'm going to move it, and I can see the wing moving right in this. Well, see it moving right here. So I'm going to make a cut right in that area. Okay. That comes off. And that way the wing is intact to the bone. Okay. So the legs, again, we have them here. Now I'll pop the leg joint so that comes out this way. Alright? And you want to have a little bit of a curve when you're disconnecting the leg towards the cavity, through that joint, and then back up away. Alright, so there's your thigh. Same here, I'm going to pop that leg joint again. I can see it there. So I'm going to curve towards the body, through the leg joint, and then back up again. Okay, and if you look at the back side, it has that natural curve to it. Okay. So we'll start with this first. I believe it's to the left of it. We'll see if we can get it the first time. We didn't. So we're going to cut to the right of it. And we didn't. So we had to cut through that one. Disconnect it. Let's try it again on this one. Alright, there's the white line. Okay, I'm going to go to the left here and right through it. Okay. So if it's facing you this way, go to the left and you should be able to cut through it without any force at all, which we were able to do the second time. Okay. On your thighs, we just want to make sure there's not a lot of extra skin here, but we still want some covering it if you're going to be using them for anything like that. Okay. On the drumsticks, in basics, we like to show you to cut off the tips here, and what this does is during the cooking process, a lot of times the legs are the bloodiest parts, or the thighs are the bloodiest parts. If you cut the tip, it'll help the blood drain out through the bone that way, and it won't keep it in the leg. It'll help it leave at some point. So I'm not cutting up the bone up here, I'm just cutting the white rounded knuckle part clean off on an angle. Just like that. Okay. So now when the chicken cooks, that blood will leave out there and it won't stay in the leg. Same here, I'm just going to clean off any extra fat. Okay. So now we have the other one, again the white knuckle, right across like that. You don't want to take off too much, just enough to get that clean off. Right. So now we have 2 legs, 2 thighs, a wishbone, and our breasts. Alright, airline breast. This is the shortcut. We're going to lift it up. Alright, we're going to make a cut right here in the flap. We're not going to go through to the bone, we're just cutting the flap. And then at the drumette, as close as we can, we're going to go around in a complete circle all the way to the bone. Alright. And then I'm going to make sure that it's a complete disconnect all the way around. Which it is. Alright. Now the part from here to get a nice airline is you're going to hyperextend the joint. You see the joint goes this way. We're going to pop it the other way and it should peel everything off in one shot. Okay, just like that. You see how nice and clean the bone is? And it's basically ready to go from here. The only thing left we need to do is take off the end piece here. Again, we're not cutting down here, it'll cause it to shatter. We want to cut just the rounded edge off on a slight angle in one solid motion. Okay. Anything that's left on here, this white flesh, we want to pop off. And on the back side, it looks good. So that method really gets this bone almost instantly clean. For the rest of the breast, we want to make sure we take the tender out. And always this line of fat here. There's almost always a line of fat on the outer edge of the breast that we want to cut away as well. Okay. Down here, there's always another chunk of fat here. Okay. Smooth it out. Check the top. Make sure there's not a lot there. Looks good. And that's a nice airline breast. So we'll do it again with the other one. Okay. Let's take the tender out. Right there. Alright, we're going to lift it up. We're going to just cut the flap just to release it. We're going to go around the base of the drumette in a complete circle all the way through the bone, making a clean cut. Right. Now I'm going to check to make sure that it's completely released, otherwise it won't peel back properly. Find which way the joint moves and hyperextend it back the other way. Okay. That gets it nice and clean almost every time. So from here, again, we cut the tip, the slight angle, just the rounded part. Just like that. You clean off any excess cartilage or connective tissue from the bird. This white we don't want here either. Okay. And that's basically where we want it to be. Once again, back to the fat. There's always that strand right around the edge. Check the neck. Sometimes there's a large piece like here. There's a lot of fat right along this cap here. So we just cut that off a little bit. Get that nice and clean. So we got great skin coverage and the bone is clean. Okay. And the last part, we're going to cut the wing tips off, just at the joints. Just like that. Alright, so you can see the flap that was attached to the drumette where the wing was. So you have that extra meat there as well. So we have, let's review, we have 2 tenders, an intact wishbone, 2 thighs, 2 drumsticks, a carcass for stock. Alright, we can go back through this later and clean it up if we need to, but it's pretty clean right now. Waist that we don't want. 2 wingettes or little wings with the drumette meat on them. And then we have our finished airline breast clean and ready to be sauteed.